There we go. Sorry about that. We're good now. We're all fixed. Everything's gonna be just fine. I jumped out because I was like, oh shit, I better name this, and then I realized that Jen had already done it. So Jen already. Good evening, everyone. We'll get going in like 10 minutes, but I wanted to come hang out for 10 minutes first and see if you guys wanted to practice yelling at me. Just kidding. How is everybody? Jen. As you guys are coming in, one, I appreciate everybody who has been supportive in reposting and spreading the word about this debate. I think it's going to be, I honestly think it's going to be a good discussion. I think it's a good way to kick off our debate challenges that we'll be doing. There are those who have submitted names for our next challenge. If you have names that you are thinking about, I would get those over to Jen, and we may tomorrow have an announcement. We'll see, or sometime this weekend we may. I will be. My mom just texted me to be nice tonight. I will be off on Friday, so tomorrow's the last day of the week. So I don't know if we'll have an announcement tomorrow, but hopefully. I'm trying to save my voice. Tonight's moderator will be Jesse. Jesse goes by Boogagoon, I think is what it is. And Jesse is somebody who is friendly with both Mod and I. I'd also like to point out that there's a lot of contention generally in debate spaces, and there will be some contention tonight and some tension. But Mod and I genuinely do enjoy talking to each other. We genuinely do enjoy a debate, and I think both of us want to have a spirited debate. I don't think either one of us really wants to have a debate where it's timed segments and like a court case. We want to have a free-flowing discussion. So that's going to be Jesse's role tonight, is to most of the time just like reel me back in and make sure that I'm not getting stuck on a point. So Jesse's going to do a really good job tonight moving the conversation along, making sure that we're not stuck on points that nobody cares about anymore. And look, this is not a safe place. Neither myself nor Mod are known to have particularly clean mouths. So if adult language is offensive to you, I would highly recommend maybe not sticking around for this one. I appreciate the amount of advice I have. The funny thing about this debate, and I'm sure it happens on Mod's end too, is like the amount of people that feel like take this personal. And to those who are coming over from the conservative side who don't usually hang out here, welcome. It's good to have you. I do have a team of mods. Let me explain real quickly what our rules are here, and we'll enforce those rules equally. Number one, Mod's gonna come on. Number one, we don't write in all caps. All caps is just reserved for mods in case they need to get a message across or they need to get a message to me. It's a good way for attention to be caught. So we just ask, don't do all caps in the comments. No isms. Okay. Any sort of bigotry, any sort of isms. We're not going to do that. Personal attacks. I know there are many of you in here who don't like me, and there are many in here that don't like Mod. And I would just ask that you be respectful, as Mod and I both are trying to talk to each other, and we're not necessarily speaking directly to you guys. Like it can be distracting, and it can ruin the debate if you're making personal attacks. So if you want to personally attack me, that's probably okay, because I don't ever see the comments. My ADD is way too bad, as you can tell. Like I don't make eye contact. But please, to my audience especially, let's not do personal attacks on people. With that being said, I do see Mod. I'm gonna bring you and Jesse up together when you both get here. I think that'll be a fun way to do it. Jesse, like I said, Jesse will be up here with us. He also has Mod access. If you have any issues, if you're concerned about something that's happening in the messages, you guys can go ahead and message Jen, or if you need to get a hold of, I don't know if Mod has somebody there, but yeah, get a hold of Jen or one of my mods. Or you can just say, mods, I need help with whatever. We'll do our best to make it a place where everybody feels safe. That being said, talk shit, bother each other, troll each other. We know who we are. We're not gonna pretend to be on our best behavior. Just keep it relatively friendly. Yo, it's Jay. What's up, Amari? Any questions before I bring up Mod and Jesse? Was Jesse gonna just be late today? We know who we are. That's right, we do. We're petty. We all are. Look, let's be honest. We're all on TikTok right now. And if you're here to watch a debate, you're probably just as petty as the rest of us. So, not a new mic, just a new mic stand. I got one like a flat arm. Mod is Mother of Dragons. That's who Mod is. You will meet her, or you'll meet her fairly soon. Let me just get my Discord up so I make sure I'm not missing messages. See where Jesse's at. What time is it? Jesse's just gonna skirt it. No popping? That's good news. It's the same mic. If I start popping in your headphones, I just for me, when it pops, I just take the right one out. It only pops in the right. So. Team RTP, thank you. I haven't been this excited since Mayweather versus Pacquiao. That's not good. You need more excitement in your life. That was a long time ago. Wish you had a darker sweater. Does it fuck up the comments? I can go get a darker sweater. You want me to do that? Give me a thumbs up if you want me to go change my sweater. I can put on a darker one. All right, I'll go change. Give me a second, Mod. I'll be back and I'll bring everybody up. I'll just go change. There we go. Is that better? There's the comments for you. You're welcome. I love the two sides. What would be sweet is if you could divide it into sides. That'd be sweet. Where is Jesse? Where is Jesse? Daddy, thank you. I don't think we're turning off gifts. I don't think we ever talked about turning off gifts. We're not turning off gifts. CoinCot's over. So we are still doing that. I don't think anybody talked about turning off gifts. Did they? Maybe not. I don't know. Yeah, let me know if that's an issue, if something's going on that I don't know about. But as far as I know, we are not currently participating in any sort of CoinCot. I'm gonna go ahead and bring Mod up. Jesse's late. Didn't want to have to bring up.
Can you hear me?
Oh yeah, I have to do this thing. I have to like unplug and then again so that I can hear.
My head is here. I'm here.
Yeah. This is Mod. This is an actual picture of Mod. That is
me.
There.
That's me right there.
I'm not late. I was here.
You
I swear I was.
I've been here for like 6 minutes waiting on you.
Jesse, do you have access to switch you into the bigger one? Did Jen give you access for that?
I don't know. I don't even know how to do that.
Okay,
I don't even know how to
I'll let you see me in a second. Hold on, because it's kind of. I'm getting ready to take my makeup off. Is my face now?
Okay, hold on. We're still seeing cartoon Trump.
Just seeing cartoons. All right, hold on, because I got my phone plugged up, so I'm slightly and I'm sitting. So
there we go.
There we go.
Couple of boomers.
There we go.
Do you know how to switch Jesse to the big one? I've never switched myself out of the big one.
I think you have to take his box and expand it.
Oh, do I need to get on camera?
Oh yeah, there we go. There we go. That's way easier than I expected.
There we go.
I don't like this with me, the big box, and you two in the little box.
Jesse,
no, we'll do that.
Yeah, we could just keep it like this. I don't mind this.
I don't care.
All right. Well, weird for me, but that's all right. Let's do it. Mod, I've been given instructions and talking for a while. Do you have anything you want to say before we get going?
I agree with you as far as like the comment section. It is highly distracting. Like, I know people don't like me. I get it. It's fine. I wouldn't be here if I didn't think that we could have an intelligent debate. So I think, at least from my side, I talked to everybody before, and I think everybody's in agreement that we should remain respectful. I don't think that anybody on my side will do that, but if they do, I mean, mute their ass, just like we agreed. So I'm fine with that. I totally get it. Love me or hate me, I'm here.
I think we all agree. Don't report the live. Reporting's for losers. Yeah. We all agree on that, right?
I think though, I do want to establish though that I will try. I'm going to be fair to both of you. So if I say timeout, I think we try to listen to that. If like you guys are going on and filibustering, I'll just say timeout and say, hey, wrap it up. And then if you guys, either one of you guys want to fact check the other, just let me know what you want to fact check, and then I can pull it up for you, and then we can do so from there. Sound fair?
Fair enough.
Perfect. And thanks, RTP. Jesse, for doing this. This is you don't have the easy job. I appreciate it.
I appreciate both of you guys. You guys are both brilliant people, so I like this. I like that we finally can come together, and it's going to be a peaceful debate, and it's going to show a lot of people like that we have decorum. So on both sides.
Yeah, we'll see.
I think
we'll do our best.
People are used to me like overpowering people, but like I said before, I wouldn't be here if I didn't think we were going to have an intelligent debate. So I think people have this expectation, like, oh my God, Mod's going to freak out. No.
We're all cool. All right, Jess, we'll take it away then, Jesse. It's all you.
So I think the first question that we want to go ahead and jump off with is, I'd like to know, like, a lot of people accuse the MAGA group of fascism. I just wanted to hear your opinion of it, both your guys' opinions. If we can go ahead and let Mod go first, and then RTP you can follow it up. Yes.
All right, shit. Is that the curveball you were throwing at me?
He just starts off with a curveball.
All right, so I'll start off a preface. Fascism is not one of my topics. I don't usually talk about these things, so I'll do my best. I will admit if I don't know something, I just don't know something. It's just kind of my thing. But so I'll start off with this. As far as the tenets of fascism, or what exactly is fascism, my understanding of it obviously comes from history. You know, Mussolini, Hitler, and Schindler. Excuse me. I know there was Chile and all those other things. So as far as studying the fascist regime and what that was about, from my understanding in history is it was more set, and this is just what I've seen from it, it wasn't really set in some form of philosophy or another. It was kind of more or less kind of geared towards a style of dress, and then the way that people would sort of kind of promote that. So if it's through like flags, insignias, the way that they dress, the style that they wear, like the all black with the goggles and all that other stuff. So as far as the philosophical part of it, getting into socialism and communism, I'm not that great at it. I don't know that much. But what I did find, as far as if you want to attribute Trump to being fascist, or just because we have this ideology out here that right wing is somehow fascist, I think that you could actually find elements of fascism in just about anybody. You can find elements in fascism on the left. You can find them on the right. Do we have right wing people that may engage in that sort of ideology? Obviously, because I don't think it's like beholden to one side or the other. Now, if you want to say that Trump is fascist, I don't know. I'd like to hear what your assessment of what you feel fascism is, because I think in the subset of the context of how a person views fascism, I think it's different for everybody. Like, you've got 14 Tenets of Fascism that was written by Lawrence Brett. Lawrence Brett, I think he wrote an article, it was called Fascism for Everyone or Fascism Anyone. And he attributes these 14 tenets of fascism, but when you actually look at it, you don't actually see anything that would be amiss as far as the entirety of the Republican Party or Donald Trump himself, but you can see the same things in the left wing ideology. So I kind of want to get your take on it first, so I kind of understand where you're coming from or what your premise is.
Yeah, sure. I guess my premise is that, like, the one thing that is consistent across fascists throughout history is they all say that they're not fascists. That's the number one consistent thing. There's not. You're right. When you look through the 14 tenets of fascism, it's difficult to nail down and be like, oh, that's MAGA. I think a better definition or a better way to look at fascism is the 5 stages of fascism. And these like, it lays out, if you look at the 5 stages of fascism and you're comparing specifically Italy and Germany as they became fascist, and then you compare that to the MAGA movement, at the very least you can draw a lot of similarities. It's impossible. It really is impossible to, like, convince somebody that they're in a fascist movement or that somebody is fascist. But, like, I think I can make a compelling case. First, creations of movements, like having a creation of a movement, a branded movement, like the schmozzis, right? Or like MAGA, branding your movement, calling it a movement, not addressing it as like, hey, we're all voting for this guy, but we start a movement, and that movement is emerges out of disillusionment, right? People are tired of the status quo. They're tired of how things are being run, and it starts like this grievances campaign that turns into a movement. Schmittler, and Mussolini both capitalized on, like, political and economic fallout from the war and then the Great Depression. Trump's was like a far more narrow way of creating a movement. He focused on a narrow concept, and this is true. Like, you can look at Roger Stone has talked about this, who's one of the architects. Steve Bannon has talked about this. This isn't like, I'm not making an assumption here. This is what they say, but they capitalized on a narrow concept of white American men who were feeling disaffected after the Obama campaign, and then just the general progressiveness of where our country was going. It seemed to leave them behind, or left them feeling like maybe they were becoming a minority. Then you need to establish your legitimacy as a party, which of course MAGA did. MAGA is the Republican Party now, right? Like, there is MAGA and there's the Republicans, and everybody who's not MAGA is a rhino. It's effectively become the MAGA party. They gain their power via right-wing partnerships. Like, you look no further than who is funding Donald Trump right now. It is ultra right-wing Christian nationalist groups. He has aligned a man who was never a Christian, never espoused Christian beliefs, and nobody guessed he was a Christian. As soon as he wanted to get that power, he aligned himself with, like, these ultra right-wing partnerships. And then the next tenet is where you start getting into Project 2025, when they want to use that power to dominate institutions. So they start talking about abolishing the Department of Education, taking over the FTC, the FEC, the FCC, taking the administrative side of the government and filling it with MAGA Trump loyalists so that they dominate the institutions. And then they implement radical reforms. We're seeing that all over the country. We've seen that with the abolishment of Roe. We've seen that in the recent IVF rulings with Alabama. We've seen it in the anti-trans legislation all over this country. By definition, and comparing it to other fascist movements, it's really difficult to tell me that there's not a ton of commonality there.
That's a lot. All right. So as far as Trump's Christianity, so let's go back for a second. You said that Trump had never aligned himself with being a Christian prior to him running for president.
No, I said he showed no evidence that he was a Christian. He wasn't aligned with Christian institutions. He would sometimes like make a donation or go to an event, but like there's no real alignment between him and their agenda. I mean, he was pro-choice for most of his life. He obviously didn't live a very Christian life. You didn't see him advocating for church institutions or for religious freedom. It was not something that he cared about.
So, okay, so I'm going to go back for a second here because you said that he didn't assign, like him being pro-choice obviously is anti-Christian. I'm a little confused by that statement because I would actually suggest that there are some Christians that are pro-choice, given the fact that being pro-choice doesn't necessarily have to do with your religious beliefs. It doesn't even
right,
have.
But obviously that's not my claim, right? But obviously that's not my claim, right? My claim is that he did not act like a Christian, and I'm giving you instances of areas where he wasn't Christian, and when he said he switched from pro-choice to pro-life, what he used is his spirituality. That's what changed him. He saw a video and he felt about it. And then as he became more Christian, he prayed about it. The point is not whether or not Donald Trump's a Christian. That's not that important. The point is that he has aligned himself with far right-wing partnerships. And those partnerships are what are keeping him afloat.
I'd like to finish my statement before, because I did give you I do want to be able to finish. And it wasn't hyper focused on that. I was actually trying to get to this, establish a foundation here because, like I said, I don't.
My bad.
Yeah. So if you allow me to finish, that wasn't the hyper focused. So again, I'm kind of failing to understand how being a Christian is attributed to right wing ideology, when in fact there's a lot of Democrats that are Christian. And then to sort of say that he really didn't ascribe himself to be Christian, I feel like that's just kind of a play on words. As far as what you feel a Christian should be, I'm not a Christian at all, but I'm not going to sit here and tell somebody, well, these are the tenets of Christianity. Just in the same sense, there are some Christians that don't actually believe any of most of the stuff in the Bible. They believe in pro-choice. I mean, there's a lot of Christians that believe really wild shit. But to sit here and say that, he started in order to push fascism, that somehow or another that we subjectively what we believe as a Christian is, him pushing towards fascism. I don't really think you can make a valid argument there, especially when religion itself is just completely subjective.
That argument is. Oh, sorry.
Right. Second point, as far as Project 2025, it's never been adopted officially by the Republican Party. It's a conservative think tank. I don't think anyone takes it seriously. I think everybody on the left actually believes that it's more serious than what it is. Agenda 47 is Trump's platform. It's always been his platform. He's never touted anything in Project 2025, unless you want to cross-reference a video or one of the transcripts in his statements or says anything about cross-referencing anything in Project 2025. I don't even think any I don't even take it seriously. And I don't even think any Republican is actually taking it seriously. When are we actually going to show Project 2025 as being at the forefront of the Republican Party? We've been talking about this for the last year and a half or a year or however long it's been out. When was it adopted as under the official platform? Because the last time I checked, and unless you can correct me if I'm wrong, I didn't see anything on the Republican platform as of 2024 that pushes anything in Project 2025. And then again, conservatism, I think, is a very, very small sector of the Republican Party, which nowadays you can probably, the whole rhino situation. There's more rhinos, if you will call it, in the Republican Party who are actually a little bit a little bit moderate than they would conservative. So I don't agree with the notion whatsoever, unless you can correlate Donald Trump with someone in history directly, either Mussolini, Hitler, Pinot, or whoever in history that you can show me. Show me a side by side, and it doesn't have to be comprehensive. Give me one example of a dictatorship or, Mussolini and Trump. What comparisons can we make? I'll say this last point. As far as fascism is concerned, the only thing that I've seen which is kind of odd to me, when you look at Antifa, they dress the same way as the black shirts did and during Mussolini's time. They almost adopted the same style of dress, the same push against against government. They were on the neck and neck with some of the police officers. They hate police officers just in the same way as fascists did. So what I'm seeing is the comparison between Antifa and the fascists in the World War II era. I'm not seeing that. So I for one, like I said, I'd like to see a comparison between Trump himself that
So
you're
do you want us
contributing.
should we go through the 14 tenets? Is that what you would like to do, Mon?
No, I think Maud's right about that. I don't think that's a good way to like establish what fascism is. But can I just respond to those claims?
Yeah, I don't
Number
find
one,
it acceptable at all. So
yeah. Number one, at no point did I claim that being Christian or that Christianity had anything to do with fascism. What I said is that Donald Trump is aligning himself with Christian nationalists because they're paying his bill, and Christian nationalists, by definition, are a far right group. So, the only reason I brought up Christianity is because it is an extreme change for Donald Trump to spend most of his life not doing anything related to church. But once he was in power, he spent a lot of time pandering to Christians. You can believe he had a change of heart and he's a true Christian now. That's fine. It doesn't matter to me. I don't care if he's a full-throated Christian now or not. It's irrelevant. I was just pointing out that Christian nationalism is who's largely paying his bills right now. They're largely the ones that paid the bills. They're the ones that gave him a list of judges. Every judge that Trump appointed to the Supreme Court was handed to him in a letter from this Heritage Foundation that did Project 2025. Like the Heritage Foundation is on the record right now of saying that Trump is aligned with them. He's never backed off from that. They also say there's elements of their plan that are too secretive to bring up. And we know they have his ear because they're the ones that put the judges there. They are the ones that did that. When you ask me when was it was adopted, then that's when it started. But Project 2025 relies on a Republican executive. So Project 2025 can't be implemented right now because, spoiler alert, Joe Biden, not a conservative, not aligned with their movement. It relies on Donald Trump taking office and then immediately going through all of the administrative state and filling it with lackeys so that he has voting majorities, and he makes sure that the people that he puts in place are people who will vote like the Heritage Foundation wants them to vote. Heritage Foundation is providing him a list, at least according to them. You can see just elements. Donald Trump had a video that he has now taken down, and I believe because he got in trouble, but you can find it on the Wayback Machine. It was on Agenda 47. It was on the third page. It was the third video. And Donald Trump talks about how when he becomes president, he's going to fill the board of the FEC, which is the elections, the FTC, which is trade, and the FCC, which is our networks. He is going to fill those boards with the 3 seats out of 5 that he gets. And then those boards will create new rules where they can only be investigated by the FBI if they give approval. By definition, that is the government giving themselves approval. And if they're all Trump lackeys, they all go back to Donald Trump. I understand that conservatives don't.
Let me. Conspiracy, though.
Well, I'm sure it does sound. I'm getting it from their web. I'm getting it from their mod.
Like he provided any sources.
I'm responding. Everything I'm saying right now.
You got like 10 more seconds, RTP, and then
everything I'm saying. Well, I'm just responding to all the questions that she asked. So, Project 2025 has laid it out. Agenda 47 is copy and pasted and then simplified. It's literally everything in Agenda 47 is in Project 2025 without exception, right? If you said you wanted to show me like a comparison between Schmittler and Trump or Mussolini and Trump, and I explained that to you. I explained to you that it's a unifying movement that revolves around one person, that it comes out of grievances. It comes out of fear of losing a majority. It comes out of fear of the changing morals of the country. And because of that, people get desperate and they seek power, and they seek to limit the power and the rights of others. you can't, like, women's rights have been severely limited under conservatives. LGBTQ rights are under attack as we speak. They are trying to go backward, which is exactly what Schmittler did. And who did he blame? He blamed the elites. He blamed the metropolitan Jews, the people from the big cities, the elites, those with the education. Who does Trump and all Republicans blame? The elite, the educators, the people with the money, the people, like in every way, these line up with fascism. Now, again, it's impossible to prove that he's fascist, but he lines up with a lot of things that Schmittler did. A lot of things.
Okay, wait, because I'm kind of okay, because that was a lot. So it sounds very conspiratorial.
After this response, I'm gonna
who's
throw
conspiring?
Yeah,
I'm gonna throw you guys a curveball after this response.
Yeah,
Okay? Is that
we
cool
were
with
Who's
you, RTP?
conspiring?
talking about fascism, but that's okay. We weren't even supposed to talk about it.
I'm accusing
fine.
Donald Trump and the Heritage Foundation
hold
of
on.
conspiring
It's fine.
and agenda for. Hold on, let me finish then. But the conspiracy here would be that the Heritage Foundation and Donald Trump are conspiring. They just happened to put out two identical plans, and Trump's just happened to come out like 2 days after Project 2025. That's not a conspiracy theory. Like, how did they get the same plan 2 days apart? And
Well, you
who's
would have to
conspiring?
show me.
Trump and the
I'm
Heritage
asking-
Foundation.
I'm asking
And they're
you to
cutting
show
him
me.
checks. Like, they're also
Then show
cutting him
me.
checks. There's no conspiracy here. They're in bed together. Everybody knows that.
Heritage Foundation.
Okay, so yeah, if we all know this, and this is supposed to be, if it's not conspiratorial at this point, where's the proof of this? Do we have? Do we have a direct correlation? You also admitted it's completely impossible to actually prove that he is, which would suggest
Yeah.
that everything that you just said would not be credible. You can't.
I'm not. This isn't a court of law.
RTP. If none of if you said that it's impossible to actually prove that Donald Trump is fascist, then how does anything that you just said? How is that verifiable? And would that be taken up as a fact? But you're
Because
gonna
I
have
don't really.
to find some-
Because I don't really care if you
and
think
I'm
he's
not
a
calling you
fascist.
liar. What I'm saying is,
No, no.
is that it is conspiratorial. It is. You're making direct
It's not.
correlations. It is. You're making direct correlations.
Who's conspiring?
You are at this point. I mean,
I'm conspiring.
it
No, in
sounds
order for
very
this to be a
conspiratorial. It
conspiracy
does.
theory,
Everything.
well, who's
that
conspiring?
Let's let her respond.
Everything that you are saying right now, by your own admission, you said that number one, we would not be able to prove unequivocally that Donald Trump, it would be hard to prove that. And then you listed out
Yeah.
an entire, well thought out, well placed of all of the things that you believe connect Donald Trump to fascism. But I'd like to see some proof of that. When I asked you to make a comparison, the only thing that you did was compare two people that seemingly might have the same ideology, but you also admitted that left-wing ideology could also be the same, because we can say the same thing about Biden, just like the whole dictatorship comment. He sat there at a brunch and told everyone that using executive orders by you can't legislate with executive orders. There has to be a consensus, because that would be a dictatorship. And then turn around and does the exact opposite of it. You can also sit here and say that people that the whole cult of the whole Dark Brandon thing, the whole Dark Brandon movement, the whole
The memes.
the memes, yeah, but
What are they leading to? What do they lead to?
MAGAs are
What do they lead
MAGAs
to?
memes too. You also have rallies for Biden. Are you trying
Well,
to say that no one
Dark
supports
Brandon didn't
I mean,
try
come
and
on,
overthrow. They
you've
didn't
got-
storm the
you've got-
Capitol on
you've got-
January
you've got
6th.
Hold on.
Hold on.
Guys,
You have most of the nation that supports Biden. You've got most of the nation that thinks it's unpatriotic
None
for
of this is
someone to
relevant.
attribute themselves as patriotic. You have them sporting Antifa flags. You have most of the nation.
How can anti-fascists be
So I do
fascists?
want to. He did say, like,
finish something.